All right, please welcome our next startup company, LexAlign.
Hello, it's an honor to be talking to you today. I'm Trevor Lane, attorney and founder of LexAlign. LexAlign was designed and built to address an issue that I saw as an attorney during the financial crisis. And after the fact, we realized that there are such a broad application for what we do, including in insurtech and subtech, that I will get to that after telling you our story, but I'm really interested in hearing from you what you think of as the best application for what we do or that meets the greatest need. So I led 100 attorneys during the financial crisis, and in conversations with the regulators, the focus was really on what third parties were doing, for everything from what the mortgage brokers on the one side through to the foreclosure firms on the other. Their actions were undermining bank compliance and introducing poison in the securities markets as toxic assets. And one of the lessons from the crisis was that these small companies at scale could bring down banks as well as the entire financial system. And yet, despite spending billions of dollars on compliance, at the end of the day, the banks still didn't have greater visibility on what their third parties were doing. So we took a look at it and said, what is the key to risk management? And it's this, but at scale across the ecosystem. And the problem really has two sides. Most third parties, most customers, partners, and vendors don't have the sophistication or resources to master the 3 Rs, and institutions don't have a scalable way to monitor and assist them. The reason is that both sides are still reliant on manual expertise that's too costly and scarce for the scale required. So the solution that we saw is LexAlign, an automated cloud-based platform that could extract information on third-party practices and then instantly deliver the customized information they need to attain and demonstrate compliance. And by knowing and analyzing their practices, we could provide risk intelligence to the institutions so that simply by getting their third parties to use LexAlign, they could demonstrate third-party compliance, oversight, and support. We visit regularly with the federal bank regulators, and in our last meetings in April, this is what I heard Chairman Williams of the FDIC say. They are very focused on third-party risk and the need to develop data to create transparency, accountability, and trust. And by standardizing and automating third-party assessments, we enhance transparency, accountability, and trust across an institution's ecosystem. So let's take a quick look at how it works, and then we'll go into potential use cases. In the bank sector, this shows, if this works, yes, how a bank could use LexAlign to meet its customer audit and training requirements for remote deposit capture. It starts on the bank account. That launches a compliance dashboard for the third parties containing the assessment and audit and training modules that their institution selects for them. They click on RDC and that begins the audit journey. Our intelligence system dynamically elicits information on their practices. The questions are designed for frontline managers with no background in the law or contract. As long as they know what they're doing in business, they can use LexAlign. It's that simple. The system figures out what they're doing and what the requirements are, and then it figures out what their processes and practices around that are to determine a gap analysis. And once it determines that it has the information it needs, it takes them to their product page. And this contains, coming up in a second, this contains the customized documents they need to attain and demonstrate compliance, including could be policy documents, could be consumer notices, audit reports, et cetera. The audit report contains an inventory of their practices, it contains a gap analysis, and it contains an action plan with clear instructions to take them from where they currently are to a state of security and compliance. And here's the gap analysis. The institutions get a dashboard as well, and this shows the assessment status results, confidence levels, and scores across their third-party networks, as well as trends, including how, with LexAlign's audit reports and action plans, they are decreasing risk and improving compliance and security across their network. They can drill down to a per entity level. And then, as I said, we meet regularly with the federal financial regulators, and they've called us an 80% solution for third-party risk. So how can we help in the insurance sector? Beyond just the obvious third-party risk, we can use our data that we're harvesting on third-party practices to develop leads. We are developing risk ratings based on that data to make it more standardized and easy to communicate this kind of risk. We can help with pricing on new lines such as cyber risk insurance, where it can be hard to understand what's the risk involved in a particular SMB prospective client. We can enable insurers to do audits and assessments and training. One example that Hutch has given me is a construction site audit, but also to keep your SMB clients apprised as risks evolve and what best practices. One of the insurance companies we've talked to is interested in doing forensics using our data. And of course, they can develop new products. From a sub-tech point of view, I think you have a better understanding than I do, but we can certainly help with application automation and assessments going down the line, and also just keeping entities, licensees apprised as there are changes in or clarifications in the requirements. We can disseminate that in a very targeted way as it affects people, and also update policies at the same time. Thank you very much for your time. Are there any questions?
Yeah, so the question was, it seems like it's a very automated way to audit third parties. So how does this come up against the issue of the right to audit?
We are replacing direct audit, and we actually believe this is superior to a manual audit because it takes out the human factor. It standardizes it. We also look at, the system is constantly looking at the consistency of the response, the logical consistency of the responses, as well as certain soft factors to determine a confidence level in the audit. So not only do you get the audit and the results, but you also get a confidence level like how well did that party do, how reliable is that audit. And because it's all standardized and we collate all the information together, you eliminate that human process. And everything is automated, then we can develop reports that are customized to the institution based on that data.
Got it. Great, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.